Hi, so just a reminder, if you're interested in my online workshops or books or anything like that, then please do visit my website and all the information's on there. Today I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to drive over to the gallery where I'm involved in an exhibition. So it took me about an hour to get there, and I thought I'd show you around and talk about the work that's on display. Usually on this channel I only show work that's sort of in progress or in my studio, so I thought you might be interested to see what it looks like when it's actually on the wall. Okay, I'm going to get going. So here I am at the Tarpey gallery. I've got my paintings on the wall behind me. I just thought I'd have a quick chat about them. And as I was saying on the intro there, it's not often on this channel that I get to show you the work that's actually hanging on the wall in the gallery. Most of the time it's just sort of hanging about in my studio, or it's half finished on my table or something like that. So it's really nice actually to be in a physical gallery with the work hanging on the wall. Obviously with the pandemic and the lockdowns and everything, I've not been able to be in the galleries or anything like that for over a year now. So it's just so nice to be out and about, seeing some work on the wall, being part of an exhibition. This is a group exhibition through with the gallery, with various of their artists that show here on a regular basis. So I'll take you around some of those in a bit as well, but I'll just talk you through these. So this is my little spot in the gallery here. I've got 5 pieces here, and there's another one hanging on the wall, a little one hanging on the wall over there. I'll take you over there in a minute. But yeah, I think they look really nice. I think the way that Luke, he's the gallery owner, he's displayed the work really nicely. I think he's done a really nice hang. It's nice and simple. Everything, in a straight line. I think that's really nice when you get a chance to see the work like this, and it's in a gallery environment. And it's hung, really simply, and there's space around the work, and you can just, really see what you've got. It works really well, I think. So if I just walk up to the first one, I'll just kind of have a quick chat about it. This is one of my little paintings that I've done on a wooden panel. So as you can see, it's on quite a thin wooden panel. This one is a plywood panel, and this one's called Sea Swell. And it's just worked quite aggressively. I do like to get, when I'm working on board, I like to get these layers moving and really kind of build up the surface of the painting. And I've done quite a lot of these little 20 by 20 centimetre paintings. And I know in the last video I was talking about framing as well. So these are those really simple wooden frames with a beveled edge on them. And I just think they work really well. I think they kind of set the work off really nicely. And I think just, it's just kind of nice and clean, looks nice. And I do like working on this scale. These small pieces are such a lot of fun to do. I feel like I can push the paint around a lot and really get into the surface and have a really good play and scratching into it, layering the paint backwards and forwards, building it up, scraping it off. And there's a lot of these are like that. So so that's that little one. The one next to it is, this whole group here are all part of the same sort of series. They're all called Sea Swell. So I was down by the sea. They're actually based on a series of sketches I did in Cornwall and Northumberland as well. And I've just taken those sketches back to the studio. As you know, I like to do lots of sketching outside, lots of painting outside, and I take those back to the studio, tear them up, collage them, and I use those to inform these paintings, the studio paintings. So this one's a little bit bigger. It's about 40 by 40 centimetres, I think. And again, sort of framed in exactly the same way, just slightly deeper because it's actually on a canvas, this one. So it's a bit deeper. And just the same kind of painting really. It's just building up the surface, working into it, really having a good scratch and play around with it. I really like it when I get these big chunky brush marks using the acrylic. So I like to use the acrylic paint a lot of the time, is so I can make big brush marks like this that will stay once they dry. The brush marks will stay solid, and then as they're dried off, I can work over them with some thinner paint, and it brings out the texture of the brush marks. So I do a lot of that kind of thing, and I really enjoy working with these sorts of layers, building up the surface of the painting, and more or less letting the composition take care of itself over time. And I've talked about this quite a bit in the channel before, but I like to let the painting sort of evolve and develop through the course of doing the painting. I don't start off with a sketch and then sketch it out on the canvas and then try and fill it in, if you see what I mean. I like to sort of build them up from the surface towards me, so that the paintings all just grow kind of organically from the surface all the way up to the final bits that you can see. And then I feel that I know it always sounds a little bit pretentious, but I like to think that they have the surface is kind of built up in the same way that the landscape is built up, where you're laying down material over time and then scraping back through it, eroding it, and then laying down more. And I know that sounds terrible, pompous, kind of arty nonsense, but I think sometimes these kinds of things can help when you're painting, to have these kind of ideas that are, sort of conceptual ideas that help you develop the work and make it feel much more personal and interesting. I'm going to come back to this big one in a minute. So there's two little ones here, and these are both on board, but they're on a kind of stretcher. In fact, this one's got canvas stretched over the board. And I think I showed you this one in the studio not so long ago, actually, when I was talking about framing. So this is that one. It's got the canvas stretch over the board, and but it just creates a slightly softer surface to work on. I'm not sure I would do it all the time. Don't feel like I really need to, but it's an interesting surface to work on, and I really like the look of it. And these are 25 by 25 centimeters. And I think when you saw that one in the studio, I always think it's really interesting how much of a difference they make when they're hung on the wall and they've got all this space around them, and it's all nice clean space around them. I just think they look so nice when they're like this, and having a group of work together that's all based on the same sort of theme. I really like that, because this is sort of how they're meant to be seen in a collection. Because I work in a series, or I always work in a series, I like to have a group of paintings that are all on the same theme, and I'm able to kind of work through that idea through doing the painting. So to have them displayed together is kind of how I feel they're meant to be seen, not necessarily individually, but as part of a group. I mean, obviously I do think they work well as individual paintings, but I just like to see them all together like this, because it kind of tells the story. So this was another one in that group, and you may have seen this on my Instagram as well. But this one is on a board, but I've sort of attached the board to a backing, a bit like a stretcher, a canvas stretcher, but there's no canvas on this one, so it's just straight onto the board. There's no real difference to the painting surface in a way. I just think, I just like to play around with things, really. Sometimes I'll have a board that's got a bit of canvas stretched on it, and sometimes I won't. I can never leave anything alone. I'm always kind of fiddling around and trying out different things. So, again, this whole group that I've showed you so far is, they're all called Sea Swell. Actually, this one's called something slightly different. This one's Sand Ripples. Oh yeah, this was the idea behind this one was when you're down on the beach and the tide's out and the sand has got those ripple marks in it, and I wanted to somehow make a series of marks, and the light reflecting on the beach, and a series of marks that were about those ripple marks in the sand. So that one's all about that, and kind of rocks and that sort of shadowy stuff over there. So yeah, they're never really meant to be taken massively literally, but that's the idea behind that one. So yeah. And then there's this last big one. This is a metre square. It's actually a slightly older one. It's from about a year and a half ago, and this was actually part of the exhibition I did that was called Edge of the Earth, and there's a book for Edge of the Earth. And this one is based on some sketches that I made when I was in Northumberland, and so this is done Stanborough Beach. So I wanted to get this sense of this dark rock and the orangey textural lichen marks that you get up there as well. And at the time, I haven't been able to do as much of it recently, but I was doing a lot of ceramics. So this is one of the ones that was really influenced by the ceramic work that I was doing, letting that work and this work sort of cross over. So the paintings were influencing the ceramics, and the ceramics were influencing the paintings. And I think if you see the work that's in the book, and some of it's on my website, that you can see there's a real crossover between the colours and the shapes and the textures. And in fact, in this one, all this texture that's on here, all this kind of lumpy texture, I had the painting lying on the floor in my studio, and I was kind of throwing all sorts of stuff at it. And a lot of these lumps are actually porcelain dust, sort of unfired porcelain dust that's got mixed in with the oil medium. So it just made such a fantastic textural statement on the surface, and it's just such good fun to play around with, really. So it's not just conceptually crossover with the ceramic work, it's kind of physically crossed over as well. So that's that one. I'm just going to walk past these paintings here, who are by John Bainbridge, and they're really lovely, really dark and moody. I particularly like this one with all the red kind of burnt sienna in it. That looks fantastic. So check it out on the website for the galleries. This is the Tarpey Gallery in Castle Donington in East Midlands in the UK. So it's tarpeygallery.com if you want to check it out and you want to see all the work that we've got here. That's we've got here, that Luke's got here. It's nothing to do with me. He's got some great work here. I have to watch my head on that. Some really interesting sculpture and some really interesting paintings. And they've actually got a sculpture garden, which I might try and wander around in a minute as well. So I'll just show you this last one of mine that's on here. It's part of the exhibition. And this is one of my small collages. And you may have actually seen this one in one of my sketchbooks on a previous video. I think I talked about it, or I may even have done it in one of my videos, I'm not sure. But I think they just have such a different character when they're framed up. I think they look really nice when they're framed up with this lovely deep mount. I just think it makes this little box for them to sit in and lots of space around it. Just very different. So this one's Wet Winter Sky, 16 by 17 centimetres. It's a mixture of collage and, let's see if I can get less reflections on it. I don't think I'm going to be able to move around there. It's better around that way. It's a bit darker over there. Yeah, it's a mixture of collage, acrylic. Some of this is actually those big chunky woody pencils that I like to play around with. Probably a bit of spray paint. I think there's even, you can just about see some newsprint in there as well. So, there's an awful lot going on in there, and I really like that one. It's got a nice kind of soft, wintry sort of feel about it, that kind of wintry sky feel about it. So, so that's a nice one. Well, I think so anyway. So that was about it, really. Oh, whose is this? I think this might be one of Andrew Macara's. I'll just show you that one. Oh, yeah. There we go. Nice one, Andrew. Super bright and colourful. Fantastic. So that was about it, really. I just wanted to kind of talk you through those paintings, and I hope you found that interesting. Like I was saying in the intro, if you're interested in any of my workshops or online workshops or books or anything like that, then please do check out all that info on my website, which I'm going to put that on the screen. There's also going to be links for all my workshops and website and everything in the description of the video. And that was it, and I hope I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.